start to kick it off, because time will start flying. We're all gonna live to be 100, because time is flying. So this is what's going on. So we want to just start. My name is Walter Simpkins, the Executive Director of a program called Community Fathers. Community Fathers was started by a group of fathers in the community who came to the conclusion that fatherlessness was one of the major problems that we faced. This fatherless issue is just, and especially in the community, in the city, is just a massive issue in terms of nobody having fathers. So what we did was we came together and we decided that, we needed to deal with this issue. We didn't need a program to tell us what to do or how to do, or the fact that we needed to do it. We knew it ourselves because of what we were looking at. And when you look at, you're always hearing about the statistics of what it means to be a father, so I don't have to go through that. So we already understand the problem. But it's one thing to understand and see a problem, it's another thing to do something about it. So what we did was we started. Now let me give you a little history so that you understand the nature of how things began. We began, there was a New York State Fatherhood Initiative grant. And what happened is somebody got some grant money. And so they were an early childhood service program. And they got this money for this first grant in the state, in Schenectady. And what they did was they started the fathers program, but no fathers showed up. Okay? So me and somebody else happened to be working in another program. And so they came to us and said, listen, we can't get no fathers, so could y'all come in and help? Okay? Well, first of all, because I was a father in the community itself, it made a difference because I knew other fathers. So when you know other fathers, it's easy to start getting fathers. But when you're not from the community, then you act like there's no fathers here. They're here, but you just don't know them, okay? But what happened is, they had the grant, they had the money, and we was going along quite fine. They was giving us food and stuff, and we come and eat and have a good time. But what happened is, we wanted to put on an event. And when we went to ask them for the money to put on the event, they told us they only had enough money for 2 more weeks. And then the program would be over. Well, everybody seemed like they was okay with that. Oh, no, there's no more money, the program's over. So we went back to the program that we were working with, and so they were saying, oh, well, we're sorry to hear that. But what we did was we went to one of the churches in the community, and actually it was the oldest African-American church in the community, and we went and asked if we could have space so we could still have our meetings. They said yes. When we went back to the program and told them that we had this place and we was gonna have these meetings, all of a sudden they came up with money and they had us at another place to have the meetings, okay? One of the things that we've learned, who controls your money controls your program, okay? So what happened is, we had the support group, and as the support group started, fathers came in with problems. And so what we started to realize is we needed more than just a support group. Fathers was coming in, especially the first issue that was major was dealing with the family court, because we found the family court system was very father unfriendly. We had one judge that was so vicious until we took her up on charges for what she was doing to fathers. And what they did, they sanctioned her. And they said the only thing they would have done more was to remove her from the bench. She became very father-friendly after that, okay? Very father-friendly. In fact, we gave her an award one time because she had become so father-friendly. So, hey, listen, you gotta work with the people, okay? So what happened is, but what we found is that we needed more than a support group. But the program we was into had us locked in. And they was only giving us pizza and soda on Thursday nights, and we were supposed to sit there and tell about our problems. So we felt like we could do this ourselves. Jesus, we can at least buy our own pizza and our own soda. And that's what we did. We sent a letter to them telling them, thank you very much, we appreciate everything you've done, but we are going to start our own program. At that time, the program was called Father Time. We turned it to Community Fathers, because that's who was running this one. And that's what we began to do. And out of that program, we started with the support group. Now we have a program in the Schenectady County Jail, Fathers Reentry Program. We have a program in the drug court. We have one in the domestic violence for the batterers program that we went to Rockland County to get certified to run. And the reason why, let me just speak on that. Gentlemen were coming back from incarcerations, and part of the stipulation was that they do domestic violence. But there was no domestic violence in our area. So when you don't get to services and the stuff you need, what happens is you're always in violation. And you can be removed any time as one of the things you haven't done and completed. So we decided to do that, and we've been running that successfully. We now have a program in the Schenectady County Jail, in the Schenectady High School, and these are the things that we decided to put in. There's probably some more stuff, you'll see it on here, because I get to talking, I forgot half of the stuff we be doing. But what I'm trying to emphasize is that we've been doing it ourselves, okay? Not anybody else. This is the first year we've really gotten a grant to be able to do anything. And most of it is just so that we can just maintain the program, okay? Most of us who have done it and haven't gotten paid 1 penny. We're gonna stop that, because we don't want people to think we don't want no money, okay? But what again, if you don't understand the fact that people will use money to use your program, you know, and we've had that happen to us. We tried to pair up with a program one time, and the next thing you know, they got all the money and we got the trinkets. And we felt like, okay, after that, until we are able to stand on our feet, we don't need it. Now, excuse me, at the last program, they talked about the thing about motivation. And this becomes very interesting, especially when you don't have money. All right? Nobody comes expecting anything. But people come and they give everything. And the reason they do it is because for the first time, fathers are building an institution themselves. This is not DSS. This is not SCAP. This is not, I'm not taking nothing away from nobody. But this is something that they're building. And when you're building something, that means you have ownership on it. We own this. And because we own it, we have a different feeling about it. And anyone can walk out and talk about what we're doing. And that's what the meaning of this is. You want an incentive. Give a man ownership on something. Make him feel like he's a part of something. And that's the incentive. Now, if you can add something that later on, what we do too is we send them for trainings. I got some guy who got some money up in Schenectady, and he just, anytime I want to send guys for training, he pays for it. So I send training for everybody. Get a certificate, get a certificate. We call it stacking credentials, and we do it. Because a lot of people come out and they don't have anything. You know, they dropped out or whatever the case may be. But when they go somewhere, they're trained, and they can be able to come back to our program and help deliver services. Now, what I want to do is, I want, all of these fathers are from our program, and all of them do different things. And I want to just introduce the different fathers that we have with us. On the far left, we have William Rivas, and William is our program director. We have D.C. Dunkel. D.C. Dunkel works with our Young Fathers program, and that means that's also in the Schenectady High School. We have Sam Tolliver. Sam is working with us with our program that we went into Albany now, and we started an Albany program. So Sam is handling that and doing facilitation for our support group out there. We have Richard Jackson here, and Richard deals with our reentry program. And what I'd like for them to do is I'd like to, for each one of them, to talk about who they are and what they do, and just give you a brief understanding of how the gold mine is in the community itself. And let me just say something about gold. I lived in California one time, and I used to work for a program called, a shop called the Gold Connection. And I used to watch jewelers. And what jewelers would do is they would get raw gold nuggets. But if you ever see gold raw, it's dirty. And it wouldn't look like something, you would think it was just garbage, and you wouldn't even pay no attention to it if you didn't know what it was. And what I used to watch them do is they'd melt it down. And there was a stick that they put in there. And the stick would remove the impurities. And when they removed those impurities, then they could put it in a mold. They'd shoot the gold in a mold, and whatever they shot it into, it would come out looking exactly like that form that they put it in. All they had to do then, once they took it out of the mold, was polish and buff it, and it shined. It brought back its original luster, its original weight, and its original worth. And that's what we're doing here with fathers. We are recovering the gold that's in our community. And each one of these people are golden. And that's why I'm always so proud to be a part of this. This is something to watch. It is just don't let me get started. Okay? So let me let William start, because William is our program director. So let me let him just talk about whatever.
I'm William Davis, program director, Community Fathers Incorporated. I know I'm on a short time leave, so I'll make it quick. The long and short of it is I was a straight A student up until about 11th grade, played sports, varsity letters, clear path to college, could do whatever I wanted to do. Summer of 11th into 12th grade, we had a gang influx in our area. They were doing gang initiations. People were getting cut, shot. You know, they had this big thing going on. So me and some of my friends, we decided to form our own clique. And, you know what I'm saying? That's what we did. And in like a 7-year span, 15 of my friends lost their life to either being shot or to going to prison behind some very, very large numbers. It left me at a point in which I was pretty much the last man standing. And I was kind of lost, because you don't go from being, being in church and being in school to all of a sudden being in a gang, and everybody's gone. So I kind of lost my way for a while. Along the way, I was blessed with a daughter, but at that point in time, I really had, no care and concern for anybody, let alone myself or a small child. Everything kind of really changed at one point in October. I'd say it was like 7 years ago is when I met Walter. I came to a point where I just, I didn't care about life, didn't want to live. So I decided that I was going to go down to the water in Albany and Washington Park, and I had made my mind up that I was going to jump at about 2 o'clock in the morning. So what I did was I called my mother and, read her my last rites, told her my last goodbye, because I felt like if they found me in the morning, I at least wanted somebody to know where I was. So I talked to my mother for about 5 minutes. She told me she couldn't do anything for me, and she gave me a phone number to somebody. She said, I want you to call this guy. I'm like, call him for what? Like, what's that going to do? She said, call him and just talk to him. So I'm like, I'm on. This is my mother's last wish for me. I'm like, all right, I'll call him, whatever. He's probably not going to pick up. So I called him, and Walter Simpkins picked up the phone at 2 o'clock in the morning. I had never met this man a day in my life. So the fact that he took the time out to talk to me at 2 o'clock in the morning when I had made up my mind to what it was I was going to do, it caused a change. You know what I'm saying? He said to me, I remember the big thing he said to me was just, whatever you got to do, make it through the night and just make it home in the morning. I'm saying to myself, I'm in the middle of the city over. It's October. I'm in basketball shorts and a white beater, and you want me to find a way to make it through the night and make it home tomorrow. You have hope, so I guess I'm supposed to too. It sounds great. All right, yeah, great. But he has this way of speaking in which he motivates you, he empowers you. So even if I had no idea what was going to happen or how I was going to make it through the night, I was convinced I was going to at least try. So, hung up the phone. I went and sat on the park bench. I did not sleep. I sat up all night long. I walked to the bus stop in the morning, and a friend I went to high school with, his father was driving the bus. And I told him, listen, I just got to get home. He said, well, just get on the bus. And I came down here. I started coming to the fathers group, started working with the guys. And for the first 2 years I was going, I wasn't trying to hear nothing they were saying. You know what I'm saying? I was still stuck in my mode, still wanted to be high, still wanted to chill. I was working my way out of it. And I remember the kind of last thing that really did it for me was I was on parole for stealing money from my job. And I was at the group and I was talking to Walter and the guys. And I got every excuse in the world for why I did what I did. I did it for my daughter. Oh, no, I did it for the eviction notes. I did it for that. And they looked at me, they said, no, William, you're a liar and a thief. Flat out, stop it. Stop lying to yourself. And like that, it bothered me a little bit. Like I'm sitting in a group full of men and they're like, no, you're a liar and you're a thief, William. Like, get over it. I'm like, see, no, I can laugh at it now. It's funny. But then, like, I'm gonna be honest, my feelings was hurt a little bit. But me in the midst of the conversation, I was saying to him, like, man, I'm tired of struggling. Like, I don't want to go to parole no more. I don't want to piss in a cup no more. I don't need this. I just want to go to jail and get it over with. Within a week, I was sitting in jail, sure enough. That was 5 years ago. In that 5 years, the things that I've been able to do are none short of amazing. In the last 5 years, I've been able to become the director of not one but two not-for-profit organizations. I've gone from being a gang member and a criminal and a menace to society to being an upstanding person, and to some people would call me a community leader, which I don't know how. But it's nothing short of working with these group of guys, community fathers, to save my life. So I personally taken on the vision of taking a community that I personally helped destroy, and now I'm putting in the work to personally rebuild it. feel responsible for a lot of young men that watched me grow up in the street, that I showed them how to tie their flag, I showed them how to twist their fingers up and represent. I taught them how to bag up drugs and stand on the corner. I got kicked out of my high school because, you know what I'm saying, I incited gang violence. Now I get to go back to the high school and speak to the young kids. Like, in a matter of the time that I've been able to do these things, it's a blessing. You know what I'm saying? To be here standing in front of you guys and be able to speak to you guys, it's a blessing. Last year, Community Fathers, they nominated me for our Community Fathers Heroes Award, which was, in myself, is a blessing, because for somebody like myself, like, the way I felt about myself, I never saw any of these things happening. So to be able to be recognized, for people to look at me the way they do, for me to be standing here with you now, for you guys to applaud me for all the things that I did wrong and that my Creator put away into my life for me to be able to do them right, like, I'm just giving back the opportunity that somebody gave to me. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
DC is our youngest father, so I'm going to let him go last, okay? Because he's young and wonderful. All right. Don't pull out your cell phone.
How you doing? My name is Sam Tolliver. I'm also a member of Community Fathers. It's been like going almost 6 years now since I've been a member. Just like him, I was in and out the system, and I got caught up in '96, just doing all type of junk. And my bottom was I came home to a 6-year-old. My girlfriend at the time was 7 months pregnant when I got arrested. So that was it for me. I wasn't doing no more jail. Done. I started reinventing myself while I was in the system. Came home. Okay, I want to get the job now, but I was still missing a part of myself. I still can't remember the life of me on what drew me to the Hamilton Hill Art Center to meet on the men's group that I heard about. But since that day, I've been coming faithfully, and my life has elevated to a point I never thought would happen. Wow, I was emotional. Right now, you know, positive part of my family. God, I can't talk no more. Done. Come on.
Hey, listen, you're going to take off, okay? I'm telling you. Okay, now this is Richard Jackson, and Richard is dealing with our re-entry and everything. What do you think?
How y'all doing today? I'm gonna start off by saying Community Fathers has literally saved my life. I know y'all know or heard the saying about the revolving door prison system. And it is revolving when you don't have a support group or support team or anything to latch on to. Long story short, I come from Brooklyn, New York, 17 years old. I sadly regret I was involved in taking another black man's life. And I did 26 years straight. Wow. I came home at 43 years old, and luckily, my wife moved to Schenectady, so I wasn't placed back into Brooklyn. It's like when you got TB, they take you to the hospital, put you back to the place you caught the TB from. So it was a good move that she put me up there. And when I got there, I had a comrade, and he knew. During my incarceration, I did everything. I'm just say that. I did everything from mopping the floor to getting a college degree. Everything. Created programs for the Department of Corrections. I did it all. So I came home, I got with a comrade, and he told me, I said, yo, I'm home, man. He said, get with Walter. Excuse me. Called Walter. Next day, it was a Wednesday. I came, matter of fact, the 28th of this month would be 4 years I've been home. I called Walter and got involved with the Community Fathers program. And it was hard as hell. No matter what I did in prison, it didn't prepare me to be home. It didn't prepare me at all. I got a 17-year-old son, from my son being scared that I'm gonna go back, I had a better relationship with my son in prison than I had with him my first 6 to a year home. And it was a whole lot of stuff that I was going through, but thanks to these brothers right here, every time I came to the Community Father Support Group, and that's one thing, there's nothing set in our support group on Thursday nights, besides Walter talking. Nothing else is set. So whatever the vibe is that day, that's where we going. And it seemed like I was the vibe yo, listen, this is what you get. Yo, I need a job. The Creator got a better plan for you. That's his favorite word. The Creator got a better, I got to support. The Creator got a better plan. Fast forward, 4 years later, I'm an assistant director of a community safety program in Schenectady, where we actually on the streets dealing with brothers like me, plugging them into the proper resources they need. We respond to any type of stabbing or violence in the community, making sure that there's no retaliation, that we constantly engaging the younger population. Also, a program director for another program, Schenectady Bridges, where we teach the constructs of dealing with people and property. But my favorite program, which is pathetic for me, is the reentry program that we go into the Schenectady County Jail every Friday. And I also do intake during the week, where we work with the brothers and try to get them right so that they can have a better transition back into society. And what's so unique and non-traditional about the Community Fathers Program is that no other program goes into the county jails. All of the programs is focused on the state jails, but statistics show you that if a person's go to the county jail, 70% of them is headed upstate sooner or later. So why wait for them to leave the county jail, come home, and go upstate? Let's start working with them now on their first contact with the criminal justice system. And that's what we're doing and going to continue to do. And like Walter said, without a dime. All of this comes from the heart. We ain't getting paid for nothing.
Now, let me let my young father up and let him, excuse me? Oh, yes, excuse me. Richard has a book that's coming out. What's the name of the book, Richard?
Inside Out.
This Side Out.
Inside Out.
Oh, Inside Out, okay? And I saw the book, and I said to myself, my God, things are happening, okay? You understand? This is what we're talking about, what we have here. You know, the invisible man is now visible, okay? Because we're shining a light on folks, and we're letting them know. He talked so short, and so I don't know, I'm gonna fill in some gaps, okay? But I'm gonna let my brother come up here, DC Dunkel, and that's his name, DC. I don't know what they was thinking, but hey, let DC talk about what he's doing, okay? All right, go ahead.
So, background, right? 2 years ago is when I started working with these guys. I just started off 2 years ago because they were that. I was just chilling, doing things I wasn't supposed to do. But 2 years ago, I got a call February 23rd that my nephew stopped breathing, is what was said to me on the phone. My sister was crying to me on the phone. So I get to my house, and my sisters are all standing outside, the ambulance, cops, everything are at my house. So I go inside, my nephew's upstairs on the floor, not breathing, like they said. Long story short, I found out that my mom is the one who was charged with murdering my nephew. So in that process, I got my sisters, we had to spend the day at CPS, and I basically spent the day down there going back and forth with Child Protective Services that I wanted to keep my sisters. I didn't want them going to foster care.
How old was you at the time?
I was 19. This was 2 years ago. I was 19 years old. Now, going to family court, the judge didn't want to give me custody because he said I was too young. He said, I'm only 19 years old. I can't provide for 3 girls, not to mention I have a 5-year-old son myself. And after I found out that my nephew died, I found out that I was having another son. Like 2 days later, my girlfriend told me she's pregnant. I said, that's least of my worries right now. But I had to plan my nephew's funeral. It was just crazy. A lot of things kept happening. I kept getting arrested for going back and forth with the guy across the street from my house. But working with community fathers and stuff, they basically let me know that things are possible. I thought I wasn't going to get my sisters. I was going to get into a fight at CPS. Like, I'm not leaving here without my sisters. They called the police and everything. But I don't know, working with these guys, it got me on track, you know what I mean, a purpose. Before, I just worried about money. That's it. That's all we're taught. Like he said, this generation is what taught us. It wasn't men and adults. It was teenagers teaching kids how to do stuff that they thought was funny and cool. But now working with men, you see a purpose. You know, you see that I could change lives, speaking to people, and letting them know that, listen, what you're going through, you get past that, you know what I mean? That's what these guys instilled in me and showing me that I'm going somewhere. I be saying to myself, 2 days ago I told Walter, listen, Walter, I'm about to go get me a construction job because I need some money. I'm still on DSS right now, still taking care of my sisters. No help, and I hate it. stuck on DSS. If you try to make some money, they take away a whole lot of money. You know what I mean? So then it's like, why work? But what Walter told me is stack credentials. I have an opportunity that a lot of people don't even realize they have is I can work on myself right now and become who I'm supposed to be. So I've done a bunch of classes, Mediation Matters, Bridges Out of Poverty, all types of things that we got upstate, just bettering myself and making myself more valuable. So when I am ready to get that job, I'm not just settling for something to pay the bills. But my mom, she's incarcerated here in Westchester County. She's doing 25 to life. We come down to see her when we can. It's expensive, but yeah, I work with the young fathers at Schenectady High School. I've told Walter that people don't pay attention to the youth. When I first started coming to this group, everybody got something to say about what the young people are doing. But what nobody realizes, nobody's teaching us nothing different. Nobody's telling us you should go do this. Or why are you standing on the corner? Well, where am I supposed to? What am I supposed to be doing? These guys give you something different to do. Like Will all the time. I post something dumb on Facebook, get a call. Yo, what's wrong? Take that down. Take that down. Or, yo, where you at? I've been coming to group faithfully, and just like he said, when these guys started working with me, they told me just help other people out the same way we help you. And I've been doing it. I work with people as young as 16, 15 having kids, you know what I mean? My sisters, they're only 12, 13 years old. So I'm trying to teach young women how to become adults when I taught myself how to be an adult. I moved out at 13, so I've just been doing my own thing. I gave up the whole running the streets and all that at 16 when my best friend got killed. I was on my way to hang out with him and get a phone call that he just got shot. So that's when I just buckled down and became a father. I was raising my son. I met the fathers group back then, but I was like, these old guys, this ain't for me. It was literally a bunch of old men in the basement talking about something. But now it's different, you know what I mean? There's younger people age, and there's things to learn. Before, I think it was just, none of that meant nothing to me, you know what I mean? Oh, a resume. What am I gonna do with a resume? I don't want no job. I make more money than you. That's the mindset I had. But now it's like, well, wow, let me help you make a resume. What's your resume say? And I don't know, just learning as much as I can. That's what I learned through Community Fathers is as valuable as what you know. You know what I mean? So that's my story, quick and brief. I didn't know what else to ask.
See, this is why, you know, the fathers are here. It's what are we going to do with them? This is not no rocket science going down. All we got to do is offer them some place that they can come to and try to be all they can be. And not only that, the other part about it is to believe in yourself. We live in a world where nobody wants to believe. Let me say, you'll see here in the thing that we have, that we handed out. This was the last fatherhood conference that we had. And you'll see inside, we have a journal inside that talks about a lot of things we're doing, advertising. That's how we started making our money. We would put on events and we would charge for advertisements and stuff like that, and that's how we were able to sustain ourselves, by putting on these events. What happened is that in this process, we have different people come up and speak. Don't think I haven't been networking to get people to come up for my October event, but see, this is what this is all about. And the other thing is that we don't let any mother bashing going on, okay? That's one of the rules of the group. You don't come in here talking about your baby mother nothing, okay? Because if she's not right, you chose her. And let's get to that, okay? So let's talk about choices here. And we'll deal with your issues. And if you keep the focus on you, we'll deal with what's going on and why you even pick somebody like that. Because a lot of times it comes from somewhere else. And I just want to say something about what I have found in the community. I have found the biggest problem in our community is love scarcity. Okay? All of us, and I don't care who you are, if you come into the fathers group, you've been wounded somehow. And you can come in with a title, a degree, you can come in dressed up, sneakers or whatever. But everybody who walks in the door is wounded. Birds of a feather flock together. And that's the nature of the deal. And what happens is how do we heal the wounded people? We have to begin first to heal ourselves. And then we can help heal other people. But sometimes we're walking and we're so wounded until anything can bust the wound open again. And internally, we start bleeding. And when we start bleeding, we start acting out. This is what the gentleman was talking about this morning. You know, people go straight to anger. We go straight to the hurt, but the hurt is then reinterpreted as something else. And the deal is that how do we bring this and how do we connect this to relationships? My daughter, she came up at this conference and she did, and you'll see her in there, and she did a talk on the mother at the gateway to the children and stuff like that, and she talked about the relationship. My son-in-law's here, okay? We pulled him out of Queens, let's go, okay? Because he's a community father. And this is it, and anybody's a community father because of the fact is we're in the community and we're fathers. And you're a father when you say you are because of the circumstances or because you've taken on a father role. Our youngest father is sometime I think, what is the youngest guy? Patrick. Let's go with Patrick. How old's Patrick now?
He might have just turned 17.
He might have just turned 17. Our oldest father is 96. Okay? The 96-year-old gentleman does not miss a Thursday unless he's out of town or in church. Okay? Otherwise, he's there. And he is given so much respect because, again, people think that old people, all they do is talk about nothingness. Okay? And the reality is, because a lot of time that's all it is. Because I'm old and I hear a lot of nothingness around me. And the whole thing is that you hear a lot of complaints about our young people. But these are great men. And they're all great men. And if you see the greatness in them, then you help them to see it in themselves. And this is the beauty of anything that you put together when a father sits there. And I like what they were talking about earlier about, you know, going to where the father is. We don't have fathers coming, they come to our support group and stuff like that. But it's not about, you understand, you're going to come in here and we're going to fix something. No, what we're trying to do is we're trying to fix a community and we're asking you to help. Now you can only help by helping fix yourself. And that's the way it all connects, that's the glue. And each one of these guys contributes something powerful to what's going on. And it's because of the fact that we all work together that we make this happen. Now, you know, I love the opportunity that we all had the opportunity to come. We got a minivan and we just got on the road. Sam started driving until he hit the Tappan Zee Road. I was all right. But all of a sudden he started doing some weaving. I asked him, are you changing your pattern? Okay. Because I was starting to get a little nervous. But he's a great driver and everything like that. But I just want to open it up, questions, answers. The gentlemen are here. And we'll open up for any questions that you might have. Yes?
Seems like this is more, feels like more of a movement, you know, what you guys are doing, and that you could expand, you know, that this Schenectady could be just the start of something, because I feel a movement on this is, you know, everybody's bleeding, I'm bleeding, I'm sure every fathers are wounded in some way, and they need a place, and you as a character leader, how do you ever think about that? Do you ever sit down and talk about turning that into?
Do we? Go ahead.
Well, that's really the good thing about community fathers. Because while it's labeled a program, it's really not. It is a movement. And the beauty about what we do is we have fathers who come from all walks of life, and when they come in, there's no expectations. It's no, you're going to give me a job. It's no, you're going to get me, you know, child support. It's none of that. It's just we're coming in, we want to be part of something. What we found in conversation is men, like we like to be a part of stuff. Gangs, basketball teams, whatever it is, we like to be involved in stuff. So if you can take somebody and give them an opportunity to be a part of something as powerful as this, and what we found is most of the guys that hold positions in community fathers, all guys are starting in the group. So as more people come to the group and they come in and they take part in our services, that's the more we grow. So really, it's exactly what it's labeled a program, but really it's not. It's so much more. It's a living, breathing organism. We move. We just expanded recently to Albany with a couple more programs. We out here, so I want an office out here soon. So yeah, we'll be back.
Hey. Westchester, here we come. Okay, yes, sir.
Yes, sir. First of all, my name is Richard Jackson, too.
That's Richard Jackson. You retired.
But Brother Walter, I want to commend you on the job well done for what you have done in these guys' life. And guys, most of all, I thank God for you for finding it in your heart to turn your life over, not just for you, but for your family, for your kids. because like you, I too was in the street, you know, and I sold drugs. I never killed anybody, took their life, but I was killing them by selling drugs. I was killing them by being out there with them and drinking and hanging out in the street until I got tired. And then I didn't have nobody to say, okay, it's time for you to stop doing, come in and be a part of this group and we'll help you. I called on the Lord and God helped me. See, when I got tired and my wife, you always tell me, say, you ain't nothing. You ain't gonna never be nothing. That cut me deeper than any knife can ever cut me, man. When you're a woman, somebody you love telling you to your face, and I was providing for my family, I worked every day, put all my money in the bank. My kids needed nothing, but I had to have that fix. I had to have that drug, man. And I went out, and I didn't have time for my family. And then my wife was saying, I love you, but I'm not in love with you. That hurt. That hurt, man. And then I had to find a way because I loved her and I love my kids. So I said, Lord, I can't do it. I said, God, please come into my life and take this taste away. And God came in and he removed everything. He took drugs, alcohol, cocaine, drinking, smoking, took all that out of me, man. And brought me from the street house to the church house. I'm a chairman of the deacon board of my church. Never would I have thought that I would be. Man, I love y'all. I love your life. I love your story, what you're doing. Tell it everywhere you go, because every time you tell that story, God elevates you a little higher. And I'm proud of you, man. Keep up the good work. Brother Walker, you're doing great work.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. You know, this is why we believe the Creator has a master plan.
Yes, sir.
Okay? And you got ideas, but he got plans.
Yes,
Okay?
sir. Yes, sir.
And what happens is we get stuck on our ideas because we think we come up with an idea and we think that's the way it's supposed to go. And what happens is that when we get frustrated because it's not working the way we thought it was supposed to, we're not who we thought we were supposed to be, and we don't understand there's a plan in action.
Yes, sir.
And if you just step back, you'll see the plan that he's unfolding in front of you. I went by this gentleman's house the other day, and he was telling me, Walter, I can't go without having no money no more. You know, and I'm sitting there, and everything he said to me was true. How do you talk to somebody who wants to be able to provide for his family, who doesn't want to be caught in the system? We tried to offer the system. We wanted to give him a stipend. We wanted to just pay him $9.50 an hour for 10 hours a week. They took away how much of your money for that? $150 or something. So we said, oh, forget that. You understand? Because the system is systemic. And it'll keep you locked in and a beggar in the marketplace. And this is what we're trying to do. Take them from being beggars in the marketplace and to be people who can be productive.
Yeah.
And sometimes we don't understand the ability that it takes to sacrifice. Because if you're not willing to sacrifice and give up something to yourself, you're always going to remain a puppet to somebody's financial string. You know, and we can all work jobs.
Yeah.
It's not a question of working a job, but that doesn't mean we're going to fulfill a life purpose. Every gentleman sitting here has a purpose.
Yes, sir.
And they're fulfilling that purpose. And what it is we're bearing witness to each other, to the purpose that we're fulfilling. And in that process, we fulfill it for the community we live in. And because of that, the community respects what we're doing. These guys ain't no joke. They come on and, hey, look, somebody come up in there, we can get rough too. I'll start nothing. Okay. You know, I heard one time you need 3 things to make a nation. You need warriors, you need scholars, and you need priests. You need warriors to be able to protect what it is you're building, because somebody will come in here and kick it over if you let them. You need scholars because you need people to be able to interpret what it is they're doing and how to move it forward. And you need priests to make it holy. Because if God is not behind it, or the Creator, or whoever you want to call it, if there's not a force that's behind it, then it's going nowhere anyway. And this is not about a money-making proposition. But sometimes we have to prove to ourselves and to each other that it's not about the money. Because we can get the money and still do nothing. But we can do something without the money, so when we get the money, then we know what we're doing.
Yes, sir.
And that's what's happening here. And we're building it. And yes, you know, the money will come because of what we're doing. And as we start to do that, each one gets a little break off a piece of something. But the whole thing is, again, the pride that you take and knowing that this place right here, we built ourselves. Not this other program, not this. We want to have full service. We're on now the Community Accountability Board. We have mediation. Okay, we just went and got trained to have our own, what they call that, when you visit, visitation. You understand? Anything a father needs, we want to be able to supply it. And that's the way the full service fatherhood. So when they drive in and drive up, most of them are walking in. When they get in there, we got them.
Amen.
Because of what we're trying to do for them. And in the process, what we do for their families. And sometimes when you see it, it's like you're looking at a movie. It's like reading a novel. Each guy is a story here. And it's like reading a novel. And this is just some of them. When you come to the group and you see the different fathers that walk up in there, it'll surprise you. It'll surprise you and how we get together. And again, when they said have something, the only thing we could offer was chicken, fried chicken. And let me tell you, every Thursday, if you don't get nothing else, you get some chicken out of the joint. But that's because we decided instead of waiting for somebody to give us pizza and a soda, we changed up and decided to have chicken. Okay? Because when you realize you can take it out of your own pocket, you're waiting for somebody to give you a slice of pizza. What do you look like? And you're grown. And we're going to take somebody else's stuff that's going nowhere because they're giving us a slice of pizza? Get up. But the whole thing is good. You know, like, is there any more questions for these brothers? Because they on it, you know? Mm-hmm.
My name is Ashanti. My stepfather.
Okay.
Church and the community, White Plains Doctors. When he said he had 26 years, one of my boys just went up north and he found out I was doing music. And he found out I was also in the streets and projects and dealing with what I was dealing with. No fear, but they have that attitude, that aggressive attitude. A lot of people are afraid of that. When you have an intellect with that, that makes you dangerous. So like now, I've transitioned. I've come back home. I was married for 8 years, and I broke up with my wife. Me and my wife got raided together. We got raided by the police, and I had nothing on me. We got charged with whatever was, she had whatever. So me transitioning now, and trying to get back into the field and go into places, it's like I'm too confident. It's almost like I'm too aggressive or something because I want it so bad, but I have transitioned to that positive notion. Now, doing the music, this is the question I had. Doing the music, I have my boy who's up north, and now we can't even communicate, and he has a clothing line and all this stuff like that, and I want to merge it and bring it to something like this and use it for positivity for all the brothers that, in terms of opening up jobs and starting markets and opening up markets. And he said, you don't want to have nobody go and buy no pizza when you could do it yourself.
Right.
So like I'm getting paid for my publishing now, so I don't want to go to most of these jobs where they're going to critique me by the way I look and the way of my aggressiveness and the way that I'm intellectual, almost as if I could take their job. But I see it with my own people. Me trying to talk to some of my people like, yo, I need to come to the neighborhood where I'm at. They can't do it because they're afraid. So my question is, how do we break that gap of us being so fearful? And it's not a fear, it's just that we're aggressive. We have to be in a society like this. It's hard not to be so aggressive as a job. Ashanti.
Ashanti,
Yes, sir.
that's peace. I really, really see where you're going.
Yeah.
But words is power.
Right.
Where you agree with that, with your aggressiveness.
Yeah.
That's not your stepfather. That's your father.
That's my dad, yeah.
Only thing he stepped is he stepping up.
Right.
And you gotta remember that. That's not, Secondly, your homie that's locked up, if y'all could communicate, y'all could. But do you honestly think that's the best route for you right now?
That's why I cut him off and I'm doing what I'm doing right
All
now.
right. So you gotta make those hard decisions in your life.
Right.
Good.
I speak of it like this. My best friend right now, he's doing 7 years upstate too, young kid. He's doing 7 years for a fight. Now, when I first started working with Walter and stuff, he had just came home from jail.
Right.
And this is at the same time everything happened with my mom and everything.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I kept telling him, yo, I'm going to this group, come with me.
Yeah.
Oh, nah, I'm going over here. Yo, I'm coming to, he's telling me, yo, DC, why are you doing that? You know that ain't true. Why you going over here with these people? Now look, you know what I mean? I continue doing what I'm doing, and it got me to where I'm at. You can't make people do what they don't want to do. You know what I mean? All you do is keep doing what you're doing, and they'll see it. A lot of people as followers, as sad as it is, they want to see that you could do it before they could do it. You know what I mean?
With the gang motion, because I'm dealing with that situation now. We're trying to go into the projects and dealing with the Bloodset, Power Moves, and the Crips, rolling 60s, all of them. You know what I'm saying? And when you're dealing with them directly, you have to have, like you said, you have to have that notion to talk to them, but at the same time, you want to bring them out of that and bring them to that
That's
life.
exactly what's my line of work now.
Right,
We're
right,
actually on the streets engaging them.
Right.
And what you need, you gotta have consistency and you gotta develop trust.
Right.
You don't go up on the street saying, yo, what's up, what you doing out here? Yo, this ain't it. No, you go up there, yo, what's good, how you doing? Light a loose leaf with him, smoke, talk, kick it with him, see where he's at. Come back the next day, yo, what's good, how y'all doing? Yo, I'm getting ready to go up here. You know I'm getting ready to start this, but I'll talk to you about that later. And as you come and you show the consistency, then the brother's gonna be, yo, that dude, he about something, man. And then you able to move him to your side. But too many times people come in our communities and a lot of our brothers is already disenfranchised. So when you come in and you promise them things and you can't deliver, you know what he doing. So you just gotta be consistent. If it's in your heart and you really in the church, like the brother said, God gonna give you the God. But it's gotta be in your heart and you gotta really want it and you gotta love them people you going to reach. It can't be a job. It can't be like when we go into the jails, it ain't, yo, we going here, we gotta do this. No, like I said, it's cathartic for me. That shit, excuse my language, it brings me back. Like, yo, man, you just did 26, you owe. It makes me feel good. So when you going in there and you doing that with them, they gotta make you feel good, and then that's gonna come out in the music.
Can I just because we're gonna wrap this up, because you know they're gonna do something. And let me just say something about this aggressive stuff. Okay, I don't know where the oxymoron came up with the term tough love. Love is love, and if it's tough, I don't want it. Okay, what I'm saying is come out the aggressive. There's a concept that says that people only come into your life for one or two reasons. Either it's a call for help or a call for love. If you do anything else, you're mistaken what you're looking at. And if we have a community that has a love scarcity issue, then they need love. Okay? All that other stuff, they're going to get that when they get behind bars. That's not what they come to the program for. They come to be healed and to be loved back to sanity. Because most of them are insane when they get in there. So if we come with the same insanity they're used to, what's different? And I'm going to tell you something about you with these wives and stuff like that. Somebody, I'm not going to go there too time, but somebody told me one time, and it changed my concept of everything, and it changed my life. And he said to me, Walter, because I've been through that train, okay? And I was on the train when it came to me. And somebody had told me something 5 years before. And all of a sudden that day on the train, it hit me. And he said to me, Walter, the sweetest revenge is success. And I was just coming out of Brooklyn and had cursed everybody out. Okay? And we call it the Brooklyn incident now. But the whole thing is that let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. What happened was, when I heard that, I said, I'm going back to Schenectady and I'm going to get successful. The sweetest revenge is success, because after a while, it's not about revenge anymore. It's about the fact that you see you can be successful. And that's all you need to know, is that you can do it. And that's the way to make it happen. Not about what they did or didn't do to me. That was the only way the Creator was going to get you out of that house, because you were probably going crazy anyway. Because most of them didn't know how to love you. So what are we crying over? Spilled milk? Let it go. Okay. Get new love, okay? Hold on just 1 second. Yes. Go ahead.
We're not talking to you in particular. What I want to say is, the feeling, I noticed, we didn't try to bring y'all guys anything. We just tried to explain to y'all what we about. And sorry for breaking down earlier. I couldn't help it, because I love these dudes like that. The feeling that you got here in the hour that we sat together, imagine that every week, once a week. What could that do for a person? A man, a father, a family, the neighborhood, the community. Yeah, that's pretty deep. And everybody up here right now, we found the better skin. He about to run for city council. This guy writing books. I invented an African American flag. We all just doing things. We just trying to I got the flags in the corner. We're just trying to we're just trying to turn up and prove ourselves for our families and be a father. That's it. That's why we go there, just to be a father.
Thank you. Oh, wait a minute, hold on, Ms. Woman, that's all.
I just want to say, I am just so proud of you all. I am just thrilled because I know, just personally from having members that have been incarcerated, a black man being incarcerated, how difficult it is when you come out. And now that you all are out here and are just shining stars and really exemplify what it means to be a black man, I am just so proud of you.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you for being here. All right. I guess we have to let you go because we was going to hold you hostage.
He was gonna hold you hostage.